Another beautiful morning, feeling a little bit like autumn is coming. And as you set your intention today, I want you to just very gently, just close your eyes, not squeezing them shut, but just letting your lids fall heavy over your eyes. Rolling your shoulders back away from your ears, let your arms be heavy. And begin to just let a nice, gentle, easy breathing pattern begin. Dropping your chin toward your chest, stretching the back of your neck. Feel the rise and fall of your breathing. And just check in with your body as you sit here. Do you feel your legs sort of tensing up? Are your toes clenching or your hands clenching? Relax your fingers. Keeping yourself nice and tall, seated. We're going to let the right ear head over toward the right shoulder and just let the weight of your head stretch the left side of your neck. And then we'll let the chin come down toward the chest, stretching the back of your neck, but maintaining that nice tall posture. You'll start to feel that ease of the muscles down your back. And then we'll roll that left ear over toward the left shoulder. And now we're down, chin toward the chest, and then right ear toward the right shoulder. And one last time, chin toward the chest and left ear, left shoulder. Good, now we'll take the gaze toward the ceiling. So if you can let your head drop back, that's great. Some people, drop their heads way back, look like Pez dispensers. I'm not quite comfortable with that, but I'll let my head go back just a little, stretching through your throat, down into those clavicles. Now let your lower jaw just drop open. And then slowly take the head back to your neutral position. Oh, I'm going to admit somebody in real quick here. And we'll continue with that warm up, bringing your knees out and the ankles crossed. We have our hands relaxed on the knees. We're going to open them up, reaching toward the sky. Take your gaze toward your hands. And then as you sweep the hands down, they come out to your sides. You're going to let the right hand come to the floor and left arm reach past your left ear, stretching through that rib cage. And then up and over we go. We'll go to the other side. Left hand comes to the floor. Right arm reaches past your ear. Now you see how we've got that nice tall posture? We want to maintain that tall posture here, stretching through your rib cage all the way down to the hip. And you can move faster or slower than I. If you have one side that sort of feels like it needs a little attention and you want to stay there a little longer, go ahead and do that. We'll do this one more time each side, just reaching with that left arm, still keeping the hips planted and really stretching through that whole trunk, through the rib cage, all the way up to the armpit, and then come up nice and tall. We'll relax the hands onto the knees, and let's take the chin forward. So as you hold onto your knees, you lead with the chin coming forward. Oh my goodness, feel that back. You might even feel it go down into your glutes. Depends on how tight your hips are. But somebody has the mic on. If you can turn your mic off, it'll keep us from having any connection or disconnection with our audio. So just check in and see if you've got your mic on. We're going to lead with the chin here, get that really nice stretch. So now just take your gaze toward the mat. As you walk your hands out, you'll feel this little stretch here. You can feel your upper body sort of pinching off that blood supply in your ankles. We'll slide the hands up, coming to a tall seated position. Now use those knees to draw your chest over the ankles again, walking your hands out a little here. Oh, stretch. Then take your gaze down toward the mat. The weight of your head sort of helps out with this stretch here. Then ease your way back up. Now as we take the hands to the knees, we're going to pull the heart forward, push off the right side, and start to circle around like you're stirring a big pot of soup with your body. You're coming forward, and then really round your back as you go back, and then over to the right again, just circling around. Stirring up the pot here. And you can start to feel like as you move through your shoulders, and as you round that back, you can feel different muscles getting a little warm up here. The next time you feel that heart and chin and everything forward, we're just going to gently press off the left side and reverse that circle. Really rounding your back, then pulling it forward. Oh my goodness. If you've had a lot of workouts this week, or if you just haven't at all, this should feel really nice to just slowly warm yourself up. Hips, shoulders, knees, all that. Good. Now the next time we circle around and our chin is forward, let's see how that feels to reach out now. Can you get a little deeper? Can you even get your forearms to the floor and then let your head fall forward? See how that body feels? Beautiful. Now as you slide the hands back toward you, we're going to take them back behind us and just unfold the legs so they go out in front. Oh my goodness, reach those legs out. Oh my gosh, I feel like the Tin Man today. You can kind of wobble your legs side to side, maybe bend one knee at a time. And then we'll sweep the feet back behind us and find our way into cat-cow position. So hands under shoulders. Some people call this cat-dog, cat-cow, whatever works. I'm going to show you sideways. You can, well, I guess you can't see my belly, but I'm going to really drop my belly toward the mat. Now, as I start to bring it back to neutral, my abs engage, my shoulders kind of press my hands into the floor. I'm right over the top of those wrists with my elbows and my shoulders, knees stacked beneath the hips, tops of the feet on the floor. We're going to let the belly go down, opening your heart, taking your tailbone and eyes toward the ceiling. Then tuck the tail and round the back like a Halloween cat, just arching way up and swing down and up and releasing down. arching up. Now, when we come back to our neutral position, I want you to just swish your hips side to side, sort of like a cat wagging its tail or a dog wagging its tail. Kind of feel those hips. You can feel this across the band around your waist, your obliques. So it just kind of shifts side to side. Then if you take your gaze to look toward that hip that sweeps out to the side, you might feel a little bit more into your rib cage. Good. Now we'll walk the hands out. So we've got our tabletop position again. Let's walk the hands out in front of us and let the pelvis kind of slide toward the floor. And kind of go side to side here if your back is tight. And then send your hips back toward your heels. Now, I say toward because they may not touch your heels, and that's okay. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine too. Now, we'll slide the hands again. You can even feel this stretch across your belly, from your rib cage, all the way down your front side of your body, feeling the back compressed, the spine compressed. Then walk those hips back again toward the heels. Good. Now as we come back to our table position, let's curl the toes under here and walk the hands back toward the knees and shift your weight onto the toes and ball of your foot. As you let your head go down, your eyes are going to look toward your knees. Really let your back around here. The shoulder blades are coming away from each other, letting the head just drift down. You'll feel this deep stretch in your calves and your shins. Now together we can walk our hands to the tips of our fingers and let the tailbone go toward the sky as the heels come toward the floor. Now we're going to soften the knees here a little bit. You might even take your hands onto your elbows. Let your head go in a little box, and you can kind of shift side to side, giving that a nice stretch there. Just adjusting the screen a little here so you can see me as we start our next flow. We'll relax those hands away from the elbows and slowly come up. So I adjusted the screen for our first little, we're going to do a standing flow today to really get the back side of our bodies and actually the whole sides of our bodies as well to warm up before we get to the floor. It will be gentle. It'll be a really nice gentle flow. We'll move very slowly through it and then we'll get to the floor. So first let's take the feet, opening up your toes, like really spread them apart and take the pinky toe all the way down to the thumb toe to the mat. Your feet do not need to be necessarily touching. They're just, your legs are coming straight out of your hips. So if your feet touch, that's great. If they don't, that's great too. Okay, so as we take our first breath, I want us to feel really solid here. So just kind of shift your body weight side to side. Find that sweet spot where your feet have the weight evenly distributed from the toes all the way back to the heels, from the pinky toe out to the big toe. We're nice and solid in the ground, hence the term mountain. You feel really, engaged with the earth. So we're going to reach the hands at the sides, palms out, abs engaged. If you find yourself really sticking your hips back, kind of tuck your tail under. Shoulders relax back. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Watch the hands as they come together in a prayer position. They'll go past your face. Soften your knees a little bit here as you begin to forward fold. Let the fingertips come toward the floor and your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Now as we soften the knees here and feel that weight as evenly distributed in the toes as the heels. You might begin to bend one knee at a time, or maybe you just keep a soft little micro bend all day long. Slide the hands up your shins until you find a nice flat back. Maybe your hands are on your thighs. Your gaze is out behind or out beyond you about mid-mat. And we release again. Fingertips coming toward the floor. Let the head relax. Now as we straighten the legs, we're going to come all the way up to standing, all the way up. Reach the arms overhead. They're going to come to a prayer position. We're going to send the hips to the right and the arms to the left. We've got our biceps right there around our ears, reaching up and out. There, now as you come back to center, the hands come to the heart. We send the hips to the left, and now the arms to the right. Feel that deep stretch. And then back to center we come, circling the arms down and down to the side. Let's see a nice slow, gentle flow. We're going to add on to it a little bit as we go here. Circle the arms out, look up at your hands. They come together, they come past your face, and forward fold. Maybe you're getting a little more warm here. Your hamstrings are giving you a little bit more. Let the head, neck, and shoulders relax. Slide the hands up the shins to your strong, flat back. And release. Now as we reach the hands to the elbows, we soften those knees a little bit here. Maybe shift yourself side to side. Releasing the hands from the elbows. We take the hips down just a little more. Bend the knees deeply. Walk yourself out to a plank position. Glutes, abs, thighs engaged. Your gaze is just beyond your fingers. Then send your tailbone toward the sky. Downward facing dog as you look back toward your toes. Maybe you bend one knee at a time. Maybe your calves are a little tight here, or you can bend both knees, or you just press the earth away and enjoy the stretch. Beautiful. As you soften the knees, we'll walk our fingertips back toward the toes. Sweeping your arms out to the side, we reach all the way up. As your palms come together, the hips go to the right, your hands go to the left. Keeping that gaze nice and relaxed. Shoulders pressing back, come back to center. Hands come to your heart, your hips go to the left. Now reach the arms to the right. Good, breathing through that, feeling that stretch through your waist. And back to center we come, hands come out to the side. Good, now we'll add a little bit more to this flow. Reaching the arms up overhead. Eyes stay on the hands. They come past your face, softening through the knees. Forward fold, tailbone toward the sky. There you go. Let the head, neck, and shoulders relax. My hamstrings are feeling a little less cranky. Slide the hands up the shins. Nice flat back. And release. Softening, letting the hands come to the elbows. A little shift side to side if you like, or just stay stationary, whatever works. Paying attention to how your body feels today. We all know it'll be different from one day to the next. As you release your hands from your elbows, soften your knees deeply. We'll walk the hands out, finding our nice strong plank. Shoulders in line with the hips. The knees, now listen carefully. We're going to soften the knees till they touch the mat. Let your body come all the way down to the floor and then sweep up to a cobra position. Tops of your feet and your knees are on the floor. Getting a little compression in that spine. Now curl the toes under. We'll find our downward facing dog. Pushing the earth away. Looking back at those toes. Now this time as we begin to soften the knees, we're going to walk the hands back toward the toes. Keep the fingertips near the toes and sink your hips right down to the heels. There you go. So you've softened that belly right into the thighs. Eyes looking toward your knees, rounding your back. Tailbone toward the sky. Up we go. Heels coming to the floor. Good. Now as you circle your arms, out we go. All right. Hands come together. Hips go to the right. Arms go to the left. And then back to center as your hands come to your heart. Reset, pushing the hips to the left and the arms to the right. And back to center. Down come the hands right to the heart. And relax out to the side. Beautiful. Give those a little circle around. And then we'll take our feet nice and wide and make your way all the way down to the mat. Once you get there, your knees can be wide here. Take your thumb toes together. Push your hips back towards your heels for a wide leg chest. Just so you can see everything on the and really just reach those arms out. Let your forehead or the side of your head go to the mat, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Need a camera assistant. Good, and then make your way back up to your table position. We're going to shift our weight over so feet go out to the side, and then you can sweep yourself right back onto a seated position. Soles of your feet together. Get a little stretch here for your hips, shoulders rolled back. Top of your head is lined up with the ceiling, and your back of your, so your tailbone is lined up with the back of your head. So we're up nice and tall, abs are engaged here. We're going to take the soles of the feet together, but as far away from your body as they can be. So we're going to walk out with a back nice and flat here. This feels different than when your ankles are crossed really nice and close to your body. You'll feel this stretch. For those of you that can reach right out to the ends of your feet, go ahead and do that. If you'd like to create a bind, this can get a little deeper. You can walk under the ankles and walk your hands to the tops of your feet, and then let your head fall forward. Connecting with your breathing here. Letting the shoulders round, you can feel the inhale and exhale of your breathing as your rib cage expands and contracts behind you. You might kind of look side to side with your head, just checking in with your body, seeing how things are feeling. We'll take another deep breath. And as you start to release your hands from either the ends of your feet or on top of your feet, we'll ease our way back up to a seated position and extend the legs straight out in front of us. Maybe giving a little wobble side to side with those legs, or an up and down with your knees. Good, so we'll start some seated hip stretching. So let's take the hands, and your hands can be facing this way or that way. It really does depend on what feels most comfortable for your shoulders. And everybody is attached at their shoulders and hips a little bit differently. So as you go back, whatever works for you, we just want a little soft bend in those elbows as we create some distance here. So we're just gonna let the chest go back, or the body go back, and the chest stay forward. We're going to reach the left leg out in front and really flex the toes toward the shin. So see how it's active? If it wasn't active, it'd be here. But I'm really like pushing that heel forward. Now I'm going to take the right leg on the other side of the left leg. Now I can begin to walk up my chest here. Give this a little hug, still activating that left foot. I've got my right foot on the floor, and you can see I can lift and lower my toes. Doesn't feel very intense here or anything, but see where play around with this. Should the leg be here? Should it be closer? We want it to feel like a comfortable stretch. If you're not feeling anything, drawing it back a little closer might help. Now we really want to keep that chest in and back in really nice strong alignment here. You can embrace that right leg with your left arm. Plant the right hand like a kickstand. If you'd like to take it a little deeper, you can take that left elbow to the outside of your right leg. And then let's just look over the right shoulder, continuing to breathe. So sometimes those spinal twists and twists in your waist might discourage your breathing. So invite it back in. Now we'll start to release that right hand. Coming back to center, we can take both hands onto the right knee. We're going to bend the left knee and plant that foot. Now we take the hands back behind us. Again, fingers pointing whichever way feels most comfortable. Rest the right ankle on the left side. Now to adjust for that, you can move the left foot closer or further away, testing how that feels. And then look at how I can bend my elbows and then straighten my arms to cause a little different stretch for this right hip. You can move through it, shift side to side, see what works for you. Good, let's take a couple more nice, just steady breathing here. A few more breaths. Good, now see my left toes. I'm lifting them. I'm gonna lift them up, shift them under my right hip, and down goes the right foot. There, so we're just where we need to be. If you can take the left heel underneath your hip, great. If that is just not happening today, that is so fine too. And relax this foot to the floor. You can embrace it with your left arm and give it a little twist again. Ooh, feel that nice stretch back here in your IT band as you lift your posture nice and tall and continue breathing. Good, we're gonna walk ourselves back to that center position. And as we uncurl those legs, they're gonna come out, out in front. Good, up and down with those legs, maybe wobble side to side. Yeah, maybe your right leg feels a little bit longer than the left leg now, because it got a nice little stretch there, creating a little bit more space, right? So we do the exact same thing on the other side. Shifting our way back, chest stays proud. We're going to go ahead and bend the left knee so it's nice and close. I lied, right knee so it's nice and close. Take the left ankle onto the right thigh. There we go. Ooh. Well, this is different, isn't it? If it is for you, my left hip is much tighter than the other. So I'm going to play around with this, like going back and coming forward. If you feel the same way, play around with it. Experiment with the space. Maybe you go forward with your right foot, or you bring it closer. Maybe you bring your chest forward and back. But wow, this is a big difference for me. You'll find sometimes one side is more problematic than the other. Happens every once in a while. Just remember to keep that breath focused and steady. Now, as we soften through those elbows, again, we're going to reach this out. Whoop, come up. Oop, I lied. Straight out. Plant that foot on the floor. Left foot on the floor. There we go. We'll get to that other one. Have to be more patient. All right, right hand comes around this leg, stretching through the hip. Left hand becomes your kickstand. Remember, on the other side, we lifted the elbow and you can put it on this side. That's not mandatory. If you want to just hang on to it and twist, that's totally fine. Otherwise, you can take that elbow to the outside, still sitting up nice and tall, and remembering to breathe. Let's take a couple more nice deep breaths here. And back to center we come. Now we'll make that switch. Hands come back to the mat. We lift up, sweeping that foot under. Oh, there you go. Right where you need to be, right? So you've got that foot on the floor. Just giving it a little hug here. We can hug it with that arm. Twisting and opening up. Ooh-wee, those hips are tight today. And you know, it really is just from one day to the next, depending on what you've been doing or not doing. You can feel a little different from one side to the other. And we'll take another couple deep breaths, breathing and focusing on looking over that shoulder. And release it back to center. As we take the hands back, we can sweep those feet out. Oh my goodness. Feel that blood flow start into the lower extremities. Give them a little wobble up and down, and then side to side. And then let's try that clamshell pose that we had right at the beginning. Go ahead and get a little flush out of the way, and then get those soles of your feet together. Nice and tall. Lead with your chin. You might even use your body to get out here, reaching toward the toes or under. And let your head fall forward. It really is just a personal preference. Whichever one feels more comfortable for you, you do. And I'm hoping that you feel a little bit more depth, a little bit more relaxation, and a stretch that feels more comfortable. All right, now as we start to ease those hands either away from the tips of your toes or under your ankles, we'll bring ourselves up to a nice tall seated position, and then let's shift our weight back to a table position. We stretched our hip girdle and those muscles surrounding, and let's go into the shoulder girdle, shall we? First, we can start with those knees just beneath the hips, lining the shins up so you're nice and solid in your table pose. So for your shoulder, this is going to be inside and out and back and front. So we start with our hands right underneath the shoulders, stacked beneath the elbows and the shoulder. We're going to take the left arm and just open it up to the side. So you see how my palm is toward the floor. As I start to reach, my knuckles are going to go to the floor. My arm is going to reach right underneath there. And then we slowly lower. Maybe your forehead can get to, or I mean the side of your head can get to the floor, maybe not. If it doesn't, you can rest your right hand underneath the side of your head and hold right here. If you'd like to add a little extra stretch for your right hand, you can reach it back and drape it across your low back. Now the left hand should be nice and relaxed. Hips are up in the air, somewhat like a dog getting ready to play, right? So playful puppy, hips way up in the air, side of your head on the floor, relaxed left arm, and then your right arm either draped across your low back, or again, you can rest it on the floor for more stability. If you found yourself kind of holding your breath here, invite your breathing back in. This is called threading the needle. And you can really feel all around that shoulder getting a nice stretch. Wait until we come out of it. You'll really feel this one. Now together we'll release that right hand if it's across the low back. If it's already on the floor, just apply some gentle pressure here, lifting yourself up. Woo! As we come back, we can take the hips toward the heels, circle those babies out. And then let's reach out here. Let both arms just rest on the floor and let the forehead come toward the mat. Oh, nice little stretch for those guys. Walking your fingers as far away as they can be and still then relax the arms. So maybe that full forearm is on the floor, maybe it's hovering over. It really is neither here nor there. We're working on the range of motion and it's either there today or not. Good, and then we'll make our way back up to our strong table pose, hands right underneath the shoulders. And now we take that right hand straight out, so palms toward the floor, right? And as we take our gaze down toward the mat, we're going to sweep it under, knuckles are going toward the floor, reaching way past, and you might feel a big difference here. Maybe the side of that left or right shoulder is on the floor, maybe it's not. You feel like you can lift your left arm up and drape it across your low back, go ahead and do that. Should you want a modification, that hand can be right there underneath your side of your head, or it can just rest right in your view, so it's kind of keeping you stable. Decide what your body needs today. Breathing and breathing. Now it's time for that right hand just to relax. Left arm being draped across your back. If so, just let everything get heavy. As we take our next deep breath, exhale and slowly guide that left hand back to the floor, applying gentle pressure. Woo-wee. Take that right arm out. We'll send the hips way back behind us, reaching out with both arms now. Oh my goodness, giving you a big stretch here, letting the forehead come to the floor. Arms getting nice and heavy. Let them relax. Good. Now as we come up, I'm going to go sideways so you can see what we're going to do. We're going to take those hips back toward the heels, giving a beautiful stretch for our quads here and the shins and calves in front. Let's just take our gaze toward our thighs. As you interlace your fingers or grab your wrists behind you, you're just going to keep your gaze down here. Now, as we begin to engage in the abdomen and push the chest forward, if your arms are interlaced, start to draw your shoulder blades toward each other and then slowly lift till your jaw gets parallel with the floor. And then if it's available and comfortable, let your head go toward the sky. Big inhales here. Slight adjustment. Just kind of hanging out there for a sec. Hit the hands a little more so you can see. Now we can start to lengthen those arms and come up, hips off the heels. You can curl your toes under if that feels like you're more steady. Lengthen those arms back behind you, pushing your chest forward. Pull the shoulder blades toward each other. Chin goes toward the sky. Good. One more nice deep breath. Inhale. And release. Oh my goodness. Circle out those wrists. Give them a little shake, shake, shake. And then we're going to make our way down to the floor. So you'd sweep your hips out to the side, make your way down to the floor. We're going to start with just our hands behind us, chest forward. And I want you to just take both knees over to the right and then both knees over the left. We're going to warm them up for some of our twists that we're going to do all the way prone to the floor. So just give them a little sideways, sort of windshield wiper, side to side. Feel what's feeling cranky. And then make your way down to the floor. You can hang onto your thighs, bring yourself all the way down, tuck those knees in. Now I'm going to go sideways again so you can see what I'm doing if you need to. Otherwise, you can just listen to my voice and it should be helpful. We'll tuck both knees into the chest, giving yourself a really nice hug here. Maybe even pressing the knees together, squeezing around those shins with your interlaced fingers or grabbing onto your wrists. We'll lift the head right up off the mat and then just kind of rock side to side. Give your back and your seat a little bit of a massage here. Feel that spine, get a nice little massage all the way from the shoulders down to the tailbone, then let the head go down. Now, as you get your head down to the floor, soften through your face. If you feel yourself sort of tightening up at your jaw, open and close your mouth so you're nice and relaxed here. You can feel with your knees close to your body how your back is super flat from back of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Now, we're going to take the arms out to sort of a T position, straight out of your shoulders, and just let the knees drift over to the right side. Oh, baby. I love the stretch. But my left hip is tight, so I'm going to just, that left leg is the one that's on top. If I decide to sort of lengthen that leg and reach over with my right hand, I can give it a little bit more stretch. In your left arm, you're likely feeling a stretch in that bicep all the way into the pectoralis. You can look out over that hand. You can look up toward the ceiling. You can look to the right, whatever works. Explore where your stretch gives you the most benefit. If keeping this knee bent is more comfortable for you and lengthening it feels bordering on pain, then just keep it bent. And again, you can play around with this, bend and straighten. Some of you will be able to make a little bind with your toes here. You can even explore what to do with that right leg. Maybe it, straightens out in front or stays bent, totally up to you. All right, now as we find our way back to that center position, ooh-wee. Knees come up. Again, you can maybe take the weight of your arms and kind of shift those knees apart from each other or hold them together. Give yourself a little rock back and forth again. We're going to tip over to the left side. So again, we open those palms to a T position, straight out of the shoulders, knees tucked in close, and then we just tip over to the left. There you go. Now you're over on that left side. The top leg is your right. What do you want to do with that? Bend it, straighten it, rest your hand on it. Just absolutely explore this. You can look out over that right arm. You can look to the ceiling. You can look to the left. All kinds of options here. I really try to invite you to explore what feels good for you. And it can be completely different on one side of your body than from the other. Try to relax through your face, your shoulder. You can even start to play around with where you want to move your right arm. Now together we'll ease our way back to that neutral position, bringing the head, neck, and shoulders flat on the floor. Maybe just recalibrate with those hips, getting them back onto the mat, and then just shift yourself side to side. Good. Now, as we bring those thighs in nice and close to your body, I'd like you to just try to lengthen your feet up toward the sky. So we really straighten the knees as much as is possible. Maybe it's here today. Maybe it's here today. Absolutely do what works for you today. So if your legs, trying to really push them and straighten them up toward the ceiling is just not available for you, find a little soft bend. Let the head, neck, and shoulders relax. If you find yourself straining to hold it, just find a little movement here that really brings this so your back, head, and shoulders are flat on the floor and your legs are in the air. They don't, there's no musts here. We'll flex the feet as if you're trying to draw the toes toward the shins. Good. Now as you bend those knees, we're going to plant the feet right down onto the floor. Oh my goodness. Now give them a little windshield wiper back and forth. Sort of flushing out that lactic acid. Get it back to and forth. And then we're going to take the right leg over the top of the left. The weight of the right leg is just going to drift that left leg over to the side. Now open up your palms toward the ceiling. Okay, you are really feeling this twist through your obliques, I suspect. And as your palms are toward the ceiling, now you can start to play with how you stretch yourself across your chest. You want to open your arms kind of like cactus, reach them overhead, bring them out to a T, flip so the palms are on the floor. The options are endless here. Work with your body, see what works and feels the best for you. Remember to continue with your breathing. I know sometimes when you twist through your waist, kind of can take your breath away. All right, together, we're going to bring those legs back to that neutral position. Oh my goodness. Interlace your fingers, push those palms toward the sky. Sort of circle out your wrists, and as you uncross your legs, you're going to take them up in the air one more time, pressing those heels toward the ceiling. Feel how nice and flat your back is. Then bend the knees deeply. The left leg is going to go over the top of that right. Okay? And then you can even sort of shift your hips a little over to the right, and then let that left leg take that leg over to the left side. All right. What do you want to do with your arms? Open your palms toward the ceiling. You want to be like a cactus, so that, opening them up. Ooh, that actually feels pretty awesome. I'm going to hang out here for a bit. Palms can come out, palms can go down. Experiment, play around with it. Your breathing's nice and fluid. All right, are you ready? We're going to shift our weight back to center. So we just tip those legs back up toward the ceiling, shifting your weight back. Now, as you uncross your legs, I want you to find any of the movements that will make you feel better right now. You can let your knees drift out to the side. You can pull them in the body. You can grab onto the instep of your foot, give yourself a little happy baby. Whatever feels really good right now, what your body needs. So, stretch those legs out. We're easing our way toward your final meditation pose. So, figure it out. Maybe you need a little hug from your arms. Wiggle your toes around. And then we're going to guide your right heel out toward the right corner of your mat. And your left heel out toward the left corner of your mat. As we head into our final meditation pose, I'd like you to just gently close your eyes. Just let go. Let everything get nice and heavy. If that means your hands are at your sides or they're rested across your midsection, or you need to bend your knees, whatever works for you. As you close your eyes, I want you in your mind's eye to picture the color of your hair. See the crown of your head. Envision your head heavy on the mat. Your forehead soft, relaxed, and your brow heavy. Your jaw is relaxed, so your teeth are not clenched. Your face is just soft and relaxed. Your neck, shoulders, and your arms past your elbows down to your wrists, hands, and fingers. Feel utterly relaxed. And feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Your hips are heavy on the floor. And maybe your legs are just relaxed so your feet go out to the side. Legs heavy from the very tops of your thighs, past your knees, to your ankles, feet, and toes. As you begin to bring your awareness back to your space, and start to hear sounds outside the windows or maybe in your home. Let small movements start to come back into your hands and your feet, your fingers and your toes. And just shift yourself over to your favorite side. Letting everything get nice and heavy. Now as you lay here, draw in your breath, deep in. And as you exhale, reach your hands to the floor and let them help you up so your back isn't doing all the work. Making your way up to a seated position. You check in with your body, see how it's feeling after the work. You can circle out your wrists again. Maybe look side to side. How's your neck feeling after that work? And then let's bring our hands right to the heart. Fingertips all the way to the heel of the hand. Now you're feeling energetic. You're feeling really grateful that your body let you get all the way through this practice. It feels amazing. That's my hope anyway. And now you're getting ready to take on the rest of the day, and it's only 9:30, right? So let's take a great big inhale. Deep, deep, deep exhale. and go on and take this day on. Mwah. So glad you were here. I'm glad you shared your practice with me today, and I hope you feel better about everything else you do today, because you are awesome. Thank you for being here. And please don't hesitate to share these. Go on to my YouTube channel. I'm going to dump this in there, and don't hesitate to share this with anybody you love. I love having a reason to keep making the videos and putting them out there. Have a great rest of your day.